Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast. With your host, Craig Casamas and Big J Curran.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast. Coming at you fucking live on a beautiful Wednesday evening. We have another I'm really excited for this podcast. I have my brothers on today, and this is my brother. These are my brothers. Members of the fucking Wrath. We got John Carrar. We got Nick Manassian. Two guys I have been in the trenches with for years and years and years playing music. My best friends on planet Earth. John and Nick. Hi, guys. I can't. It makes me so mad that we had to get our band back together to get you on the fucking podcast. Because I know Nick doesn't want to be here in general. But you, motherfucker, dude. I'm so excited to have you on.
Well, thanks for having us.
Dude.
Thank you.
How awesome
Good
is
to be
this?
here.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't this crazy?
Nice.
Yeah.
10 years ago, literally, like yesterday, we broke up the Wrath.
Well, we set
it was
in
yesterday?
motion the-
Yeah.
We set it up motion.
So
yeah.
instead of starting at the breaking up,
Yeah,
how
we
is it that you guys got this shit started? You know what I mean? Like what was it like? Were you guys in other bands and then just ended up hooking up?
we
the
were
love
all
triangle?
in other bands, and well, I don't know if Emmanuel Lewis is still playing or not, but me and Nick lived together.
Mm-hmm.
Craig lived 3 houses down.
Right.
We all worked at Salzer's
Yeah.
Right.
in Montalvo on the same street. We'd ride our bikes to work, ride our bikes home, ride our bikes to work the next day, and then after a while, we're like, oh, we should just go jam. We're hanging around all the time anyways, so then we started jamming. He had a band called Slow Burn at the time that Nick
That's right.
started
Was Ox
jamming
still
in.
going?
Ox is still going.
Ox is still going,
Ox
yeah.
is totally still going.
Yeah.
At that point, I wasn't in Ox.
You weren't in Ox.
You weren't in Ox yet,
No.
but you were in Slow Burn,
I was in
right?
Slow
You were
Burn.
in Slow Burn.
I replaced Ashley.
And so
That's right.
kind of I started jamming with him, and then Slow Burn kind of stopped playing.
Because I think for me, what it was is I was in. So John is a singer of Missing 23rd, singer of Stalling 13, a singer of fucking a million
We
bands.
ain't got that much time.
There's literally not enough time in the
there's
world to
no-
list all the bands. And John was,
Yeah.
when I started working at Salzer's, was a fucking nerdcore dude, like the dude. Missing 23rd shows in the 90s and 2000s were fucking nuts. They were the shit. You know, it was the band that
So-
everyone looked up to. You know what I mean?
So how did that? Because are you from Oxnard?
I'm from Wainimi.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So were you? Because I know like Forrest and everybody. I've kind of known all those guys. And was it just were you around all those guys and part of that scene and stuff, or how did you end up?
They're
like,
older than me by a couple of years.
Yeah.
But just hanging out at the beach.
Yeah.
And I started playing in a band called Dick Circus.
Okay. Yeah.
That's right.
And me and my friend Martin lived right down the street on Strube Street. And we started playing with, Forrest was in Clinch Fist.
Yeah.
Joe had Burning Dog. And so we'd play shows with them. And that's, like, I knew some of them before, but like Pika I knew. And like a bunch of Wainimi guys would come to Ventura, go to Moggs, and go to like the Mayfair Theater.
That's where I started.
And that's where you just become friends with people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those things where you don't really know how you, like, there's some people you just don't, I don't know how I met them. It just feels like I've always known them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like going to shows.
It's a pretty, for as big as the scene seems now, it's such a small community, and when we were younger, Nardcore was Oxnard. It wasn't 805. It wasn't Ventura or Thousand Oaks or anything. It was really just our, little community, and it was
a lot
pretty,
different. At least in the 90s, it was a lot, because it was gangs. Everyone was in a gang. Everything
Yeah.
was gang-oriented. That's Nardcore was here. Ventura was separated into whatever gangs were in Ventura,
Right. Yeah.
But now everybody's
And
all
like
in the
at
same
the
boat.
Mayfair Theater, there'd be a big circle pit. No one ever stood in the front. There'd always be a big circle pit, and you would not want to fall out in the wrong section of the circle pit, because then you'd get beat up by the
Whatever
Pierpont
fucking
guys
gang.
over there or the Midtown guys.
Right.
So you always try to get, at least for me, to where the Oxnard and Wainimi guys were.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get beat up. So
And how old were you back then? Because that was
Like 15.
15.
Yeah, 16.
That's when I first remember Matt. Was from the Mayfair days because I did security there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did security for a while. I'd hire all the Samoans from Oxnard. You know, that made everything a little easier for me. But it was crazy, man.
Yeah.
You know.
The Mayfair especially got kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Were you at the Green Day show?
I was at the Green Day
You were at
show.
the Green Day show?
Yeah.
Can you tell everyone, there's a legendary Green Day show that happened. Was that responsible for closing the place down or no? No, not at all.
even
It's just
close.
another night,
It
right?
was like I even went to city hall meetings trying to keep it open.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
So what happened at the Green Day? I know you were there too. Were you at the Green Day show? Yeah. So what happened? Because it's a crazy fucking story.
I came right after the Green Day
So
show,
the
but I
Green
know.
Day show,
Yeah.
in my like 16-year-old.
This is before
recollection of
Green
it,
Day was Green Day, right?
They had
Just-
Kerplunk out.
Right.
It was before.
But they
TV.
weren't.
It was
Well,
before they were
Green Day.
like
It's-
huge.
What
But there was
happened? What happened was and this was all of these bands that immediately became something next level. Like the Mayfair was the tail end of them blowing up.
Yeah.
And I mean like
yeah.
Green Day, NoFX,
Offspring.
Offspring. I
they
watched
all
them all
played
played, but then like you couldn't get them in Ventura County 6 months after they played there. You know, it was just like that resurgence just hit, and we just happened to be in this moment of
Everything
just
blowing
catching.
up.
Yeah. I mean, No Doubt played there. NoFX. Just, I mean, it was
Pennywise, all
Pennywise.
those
it was crazy.
Epitaph bands.
Yeah.
They're all Epitaph at the time. No.
Yeah.
Right.
Lagwagon maybe.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange stuff was really big.
Oh, yeah.
Voodoo Glow Skulls.
Yeah.
And
Crazy, man.
Face to Face was on that back then.
Yeah.
But the Green Day show, of what I remember, there used to be a skate ramp in there too.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the fun things was like watching people bail and see who's going to get hit by the skateboard.
Oh, the
'Cause
skateboard
they just
flying.
like go into the crowd,
Yeah.
you know. But there was a gang. There's always the gangs, and they're fighting. They kick out the gang, and then the gang broke in the back door and was hitting people with pipes and stuff, and then
Yeah.
they just shut down the show.
They shut down the
Cops
show.
came, and yeah.
Fucking how wild for
Somebody
Green
pepper
Day.
sprayed the show.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. And then Brandon Cruz's band, Harmful If Swallowed, was playing at the time,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. Because I think it was them and Jughead's Revenge were supposed to play, and then Green Day.
Yeah.
We're-
Weren't you
got the
standing right
second
next to
band.
Billy Joe, and he
Yeah.
was just like,
Yeah,
"What the fuck is going on?"
yeah.
Yeah, I started working
90s.
there right after that.
The 90s was nuts, dude. But so the wrap up to this is, like I said, John was in a million bands. Nick, you played in a million bands. Faker Mark, goddamn, what was it before that?
Destroy Babylon?
Destroy Babylon. Fuck, I don't know why I forgot that.
You should know that.
So I should, because we played with you guys a lot.
Yeah.
My mind went blank. So we all were working together at Salzer's essentially, right? I knew you from high school a little bit, which you actually used to scare me, which was crazy because Nick had like a devil lock and he was all brooding and sad all the time.
What's a double lock?
Like a just
Like
a,
the
a
Glenn Danzig
the Glenn
thing,
Danzig,
you
like
know,
a
the hair
long
hanging in the
strand
front.
of hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nick was punk as fuck, and then John was missing 23rd, right? And I was like, why in the? And I also came from my history as an ex-Christian punker who these guys had a whole ass problem with, right? These guys were
We called you the
not-
Christies.
we were the Christies. Like there was a huge divide on top of all this like shit going on. There was a whole sect of Christian punks
Yes.
that were. I mean, I get it. Now I know what it was.
Mostly
I see
like
why-
Officer Negative.
Yeah,
And the
all this
connection
stuff.
between that was Chris Sahagan, who was
Right.
in Destroy Babylon,
Destroy Babylon, yeah.
was also at one point in Officer Negative.
Right.
And it was like, you know, Chad Wiggins was like the guy,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so there was that whole
Yeah, there was
that whole
that.
thing.
So I come from this history, and I never thought in a million years I'd be playing in a band with this guy and this guy, right? So we start jamming a little bit, and I had written these like weird, because Slowburn was a band that was like I was trying to figure out. I played really heavy, gnarly shit like my whole life, like very loud and slow and gnarly, and then I wanted to be in like a crazy fast thrash band. And so I started writing these weird riffs, but I'm a total stoner riff guy, so I was writing these really fast songs that had these stoner breakdowns, and so we started jamming like just as a fucking party, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, like just to fucking go
We
do.
would
blow off
smoke
some
a lot
steam.
of pot.
We would smoke
Yeah.
a lot of
of
fucking
pot.
pot, dude.
Yeah.
And the songs, like first 5 songs came like instantly. You know what I mean? Like, and
we had the first 3 kind of written already.
Yeah,
by
first
then.
3 were written, wrote another couple, and it was like, oh fuck, dude, this is like this is pretty cool. You know what I mean? And then, and at that time in Montalvo, it grew to like 7 apartments of our friends that lived in one cul-de-sac. Yeah. So it was just, I mean, every night you could go apartment to apartment to apartment.
It was something like 30 people.
30,
Like 30 of us all lived like on the same street.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was wild, dude. You know what I mean? And, well, they're sawing something over there. So we start jamming. We start like, fuck, this is fucking cool, man. Like, it's unique. I've never heard of really a band like it yet, you know? So we record and then record a demo, right? And then instantly, maybe you guys have a better perspective on it because I get real hazy. What happened after that? How did we start to? We started doing tours and shows, right?
Well, at first it was, wasn't it going to be like we were going to be a joke band?
Yeah.
Called Lars.
Oh, that's right.
Called Lars Ulrich.
Yeah.
And then our first 7-inch was going to be called Fuck Lars Ulrich.
Right, because
we were doing it
Napster
simply
days,
to get
right?
a cease and desist.
Yeah.
Like, or sued by him or something.
Yeah.
That was the goal. Like, that was the whole thing. And then...
But then we're like, wait, these songs are kind of good.
Yeah, like, we should do something with this. And then, so we ended up...
Not get sued by Metallica.
Yeah.
And we were going to be called The Wrath, but then there was like a crazy hardcore band called The Wrath.
So we're like, let's just
We'll be the fucking Wrath.
Yeah.
It was logical.
Well, there's bands like the fucking
That's like
Champs,
the most stoner
you know,
logic
and...
ever, by the way. It's like, dude, we
adding
can't
a
be The
curse
Wrath.
word to
We'll
your
be the
band.
fucking Wrath.
Yeah. I like
So
it.
dumb.
Yeah.
But,
That was on a lot of marquees.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had trouble with the name, dude.
Yeah.
Because even to this day, fuck is still a bad word. You know
On
what
the
I mean?
flyer for an art fest that says
T.F.W.
no, it has like some.
Oh, it has asterisks on it.
Yeah,
Oh, nice, dude. But yeah, dude.
Anyway.
I just felt like it was weird because
It was
like,
something more than just a joke band.
Yeah, it
You know,
ended up being. It felt like more, and felt like we got shot out of a cannon a little bit. You know, with John. John is a really good, like, businessman as far as music goes, and I'm pretty driven. I just didn't have the connections that he had, and so we started playing shows.
Yeah, I mean, we recorded the demo, sent the demo out to people.
Right.
We did a whole East Coast tour on that demo. I
Right.
think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
With
toured
our
the
friends
East
Glass
Coast
and
before we
Ashes.
ever toured anywhere else.
We played New York twice before we even played San Francisco.
Right.
Like we were
Holy
very
shit.
Yeah, it was
focused
wild,
on
dude.
like doing stuff.
So did you guys fly out there at that
No,
time?
we
No,
you
we
guys
drove
drove,
our
to
asses.
New York to go?
All
Wow,
the way
okay.
down, you know.
Yeah.
Did we play a couple shows on the way out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We played
Yeah.
a few shows
Played
on
a
the way
couple
out.
shows.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we recorded our next record and found Goodfellow Records in Canada because the CDs were still, when we started, CDs were still.
This is in the
Real
MySpace
quick, how
days.
crazy was it? How exciting was it, and how crazy was it, and how surreal was it to be like from Ventura County and being like, okay, we're going to New York. And
It
you
was
guys,
trippy
because
for
I'm
me.
guessing you hadn't played there before.
I have.
John
Yeah.
had
I toured.
all the
Yeah.
experience.
I toured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
M23
just
had
gotta
done, like,
remember that
US
you're just
tours,
such the ultimate rock
all
star.
that.
I just got to keep that in mind, man.
But for a guy who's, like,
Yeah.
pretty much never left, like, the
Yeah.
state, it was, like, for me, it was trippy, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Craig toured
very
with-
eye-opening.
Like
I-
roadieing.
I did.
for
Yeah, I did some
Jackass,
touring
right?
before
And
that.
then
Yeah.
You guys toured a little bit.
Did you
like
guys
West
hit New
Coast.
York with Jackass? Or Acid
Yeah, we
Jack?
did a whole 6-week tour. But that was that after the Wrath? No, that
was before the Wrath. Yeah.
Was
I
it
did
really?
touring in my other old bands. We
Yeah.
did little like stints,
Coast.
West Coast
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
so I'd done
no,
a
that's
little
what I'm saying
bit.
about New York, though. 'cause
But New York
York's
was-
kind of
it
like,
was
it's like a
crazy.
big spot, man.
Because I'd been out there before, and I'm like, it's so much easier to tour on the East Coast.
Right.
Because
you know,
everything's
Yeah.
right there.
so close.
Everything's
New
a 2 or
York
3 hour
to
drive.
Boston's 2 hours.
Yeah,
Everything's
right.
like 2 to 4 hours away. Where here, it's like
Everything is not.
LA
you
to
drive-
San Francisco is
Yeah.
6 hours. San Francisco to Portland.
Yeah.
is
You
You
whatever,
drive 21
19
hours, get paid $20, and
Yeah.
you're like, sweet.
Yeah.
you know?
Sweet, dude. Yeah.
I went to New York, or I went to the East Coast one time for motorcycle stuff, and when I got there, I couldn't believe you're like you're in Washington, but everything is right here. Like
Right.
everything
An
is
hour,
like
2
yeah,
hours.
everything is so close.
You're in a whole nother metropolis.
yeah.
And gas is still relatively cheap at the time.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was
You didn't have
maybe
to
in the
lose your ass.
$2, $3
Yeah.
maybe,
Right.
but.
But so when it was $2 though, you're still it doesn't equate to what you're getting paid.
No,
It's still
no,
fucking
no, no.
But
struggle.
like,
We weren't
if
making
it was
money.
$5 like it is now, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
You're
50
losing your
would be
ass, yeah.
hard. You know?
Yeah.
But we had like it was shocking to me because as you know a kid that had been playing music my whole life, you know, like to be able to go on tour and like I don't think we ever lost money.
No,
like
we,
one
we
time.
would always
like,
break even. at
we
least.
would always
Yeah.
minimum.
Yeah, we never
break even,
lost
like,
money.
which was crazy because
Never
I think
made money,
we
though.
hit this
yeah,
weird
but,
market.
I mean, you can't argue. You can't.
No.
You know.
we were paid in experiences and
A lot of it, yeah.
and,
We weren't
and
making money.
bro
at all.
love. Yeah.
But we were also like, I remember being like so surprised that like we hit a thing that, in my opinion, that a lot of people weren't doing. It's like we had this gnarly raw aggression, and then we were capitalizing on these stoners that like happened to love like this old crossover shit. You know what I mean? Like this, it was like this weird market, and I think people were just like, "What the fuck, dude?"
That type of music was kind of exploding at that time.
Yeah,
too,
there wasn't, I've said this a bunch, but I'm not into punk. I don't like it. It's not my thing. And the first time I heard these guys, I was like, "Hey, wait a minute, where the fuck has this been?"
Yeah.
If I had known, I did Bombay's last show, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
I would have seen these guys every time they played. I want more of this, but there wasn't like there was no Rival Sons, there was no Clutch, there was no, I call it stoner metal rock stuff like Van Rock or like it's that certain sound that just completely had gone away for a long time, which is kind of when I got into hip hop and stuff because I didn't like what was playing. And then now there's so much good shit out there that's
at that time, as far as like the stoner side.
And listen to.
At that time, around the stoner side, stoner music side, it was like Truck Fighters and like Fu Manchu, Nebula, like the desert rock scene, like that kind of Caius.
But I didn't know.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
But that was like the at least that's where like the stoner influences for us came from.
Every ounce of it is Melvins, the Melvins.
His Hero's Gone.
His Hero's Gone. All tragedy.
I wouldn't be the person I am without His Hero's Gone.
I know.
Like, His Hero's Gone.
And not enough people know about them. Like before you were on the pod, I was lucky enough to interview Carl, the bass player for His Hero's Gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was the toughest interview I've ever done in my life, dude. Like every part of me, because he did all the art for that band. So you haven't heard His Hero's Gone, but they're one of the most important bands to me and Nick for sure.
Send me
the link to it, and it was me just struggling through like the early days of the podcast. I have no idea how I got him to come on, but he's like an art director for the Museum of New York. You know what I mean? Like he's like a legit dude now.
Wow.
And every time I asked him about His Hero's Gone, he would just shut down, dude. And I was like, oh, it just broke my heart.
That's what I wanted to know about.
I know, 100%. But I also didn't know how to like interview people.
And he's sitting here, he's sitting somewhere right now going, man, there was this one time.
I did this
podcast with this dude. This fucking dude didn't know shit for Shinola.
Yeah.
He just kept trying to talk about some band that I hated being in.
But yeah, dude, I was always it was like it felt like it happened so fast. We had no problem finding a record label. Like it was weird. Like I mean, I know there's a lot of work put into it.
Goodfellow was
Intronaut,
and I think Salzer's ordered through Sonic Unyon.
Okay.
Which was like Goodfellow Records and Sonic Onion. That was like the distribution.
Okay.
So I think there was some kind of connect, probably through John, because John knows everybody.
I was just sending stuff to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
do that.
Danny.
I don't think you could do that anymore.
I don't know, man. I don't know. How the fuck would you even go about getting on a record label now?
Dude, I don't even know these days.
You have to play shows and tour.
What do you need a record label for?
Yeah.
Why just do all this shit yourself? You don't really need...
Now you don't
do it all yourself, and then sooner or later a record label is going to go, hey...
I feel like at some point when you reach a certain level of success, though, you kind of need like the infrastructure that a label has. The distribution, when you're talking physical media.
The thing is, it's a lot of work.
That's the whole thing.
Most people in bands don't want to do that.
No, 100%. But you can do it yourself, though.
You can.
There's a lot of people that just don't do it.
It has to be your full-time job.
A lot of people don't want to do. They don't want to pack records. They don't want to put stuff together. They don't want to email people and send stuff out. They just want to make music.
Well, I think. Well, I mean, really, it's only like records have only started to come back. I don't, and like in the last 6-7 years.
Punk records have stayed the entire time. Punk records never.
Yeah,
went
because
away.
the same 30 people just keep swapping them.
No, but like
there's only 5 punk records in existence. They just get swapped around.
Like the labels in the '90s all made records.
Right.
Yeah.
Strange.
Profane Existence, AK Press.
Records never went away in punk.
Right.
Went away everywhere else.
And then they came back,
and then
10 years ago? Maybe?
About 15 years ago.
Yeah. They came back strong.
Becoming popular again. You know?
Yeah, it was wild, man. But yeah, the touring, I will tell you that, I mean, I have so many incredible memories from touring, and I have also forgotten so many things. I have to call John constantly. I'm like, where were we when blah, blah, blah happened, you know? And we've toured a lot, like a pretty good amount, you know what I mean? Like for the time we were around, you know, as far as it goes.
2 or 3 U.S. tours.
Do you guys have any highlights as far as it goes, like touring-wise? Like fucking best night ever or worst night fucking ever? Because I have some.
Is it
for us, for the Wrath? Probably
Yeah.
that show we played in New York.
That was awesome.
The True Till Death?
Santos Party House.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Andrew, we played Andrew
CMJ.
WK's bar.
Hanging out with Andrew WK.
We played
backstage.
with Youth of Today
Dude, we were bumming them out, too.
on their first show back in Manhattan, I guess.
Yeah.
Who's Andrew WK? For
Yeah.
Party Hard guy? I don't
Wears
know.
white pants, bleeds all over himself.
Yeah.
It was
He
a whole
was
thing.
an
It was
MTV
really
VJ
popular.
for a minute.
15
Okay,
years
Yeah.
ago.
real quick. I mean, just so you completely understand, hip hop,
Yeah.
funk,
Right.
R&B.
Andrew
That
WK
was
was
it.
like mainstream.
He was
like
huge.
his music, it sounds
I
like
guarantee you've heard the songs.
it sounds like a Budweiser commercial. Like,
He wears like
Okay,
all
so-
white, all white jeans,
yeah.
long brown hair. He'll usually like hit himself until his lips bleeding and then he bleeds all over the place. He had an album
He did
cover
party
like
music.
that.
It was like,
Yeah, it's
like
it was
party
just
music.
him by
Okay.
himself on stage doing party music.
Pretty much
was
just
great.
going party,
But
party, party,
he
party,
made
party.
enough
That's like
money.
his thing.
He made enough money to buy a fucking killer venue
Santos Party
in the
House.
middle of Manhattan.
yeah.
Okay.
Like basically, right?
Yeah.
In the
So
middle of Manhattan. He
yeah, I
did
mean
all right
it's
for
called
himself.
and it's called Santos Party House. So it was part of the CMJ festival, and we got put on it through. We were on TP Records at the time, and it was us. I mean, we were kind of not low in the bill, but we were middle-ish.
I think we played like right before Kylesa.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It was like Trash Talk. Action Bronson played.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Youth of Today was our first show, which is a crazy
Back in
fucking
New York.
hardcore band in New York in like 20 years.
The whole
and
point-
basically what it was is we were such fucking degenerate stoners. We took over Youth of Today's.
It was a shared green room.
It was a shared
Yeah.
green room, but really no one was in there besides us.
But Andrew WK was in there,
Right.
remember? And like they had all these signs up: "Don't smoke weed, don't smoke weed, don't smoke weed."
Right.
And we're a fucking stoner band, and we see Andrew WK just sitting there, just like this by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And we go, "Hey, what's up, dude?" He's like, "Oh, what's up?" And he like notices my Los Crudos shirt. He's like, "I love Los Crudos." I'm like, "Oh, damn, you know them?" Mm-hmm. And we're like, "What's up with these signs? We want to have a safety meeting. You know what that means?" And he's like, "Oh, you guys want to get safe?" I want to get safe with you. Bro, this is your bar.
Yeah.
Can we smoke pot back here with you? He's like, yes, you can. And so we
Hell
just
yeah.
Smoke bowls with Andrew WK, and then
Yeah.
Youth of Today, which is like one of the biggest straight edge bands ever,
Yeah.
walks in and goes, oh, fuck.
They were so bummed.
Sorry, guys.
And we had a
We're
great
getting
time,
stoned
dude.
with them.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, that was
sorry at
They just
all.
go in the room, close the door, and they're like,
So it was kind of like one of those weird, surreal, like, how are we in New York with Andrew WK
Right.
smoking out Youth of Today and they have to leave? Like,
Totally.
Yeah.
It's just one
It
of
was
those
like
weird-
your teenage self would have been
Oh,
losing
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you were a straight.
I
were
mean,
you a straight edge
my
guy?
20-year-old self was.
Yeah,
losing it.
totally. Yeah. It was that was.
So
a
were
tricky
you a
one.
straight edge guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't start drinking until I was 27.
Oh,
But I
jeez.
smoked pot.
I didn't
Yeah.
know
I
that.
did smoke pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
So I'd go party at the Rocks in Wainimi and have like 2 liters of Coke.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And then everyone like kind of start making fun. I'm like, minor threat. They're like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Yeah, that CMJ festival was amazing, man.
Yeah.
That was
Playing,
a cool show because it was they call it the True Till Death Fest, and it was it was supposed to like kind of intermingle like metal and hip hop community.
Right.
So there was a bunch
Well,
of
Action Bronson.
there was like up and
crazy.
coming.
There's some more other rappers.
There
Yeah.
was shit.
No,
like,
there was
I
some
wish-
up-and-comers.
I wish I had the
Yeah.
poster. I have the poster. On
I have a
the wall.
picture of the flyer on my phone somewhere.
I'd love
but-
to look at it. I'd
Yeah.
love to see,
But it was like underground hip hop guys, at the time. Action Bronson ended up blowing up a little bit, but yeah, it was to mix like the heavy metal and hip hop communities.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of overlap in that.
East Coast hip hop is so much different than West Coast.
Yeah,
Right.
East Coast hip hop had pits. They
Really?
had mosh pits. They'd have guys jumping off fucking stacks. It was a totally different
Very
vibe.
punk rockish.
West Coast has the West Coast vibe, which is the laid back, low rider,
Yeah.
let's get high and just kill people. East Coast was more of that cold weather, get in there and you listen to Busta Rhymes, listen to Wu-Tang, listen to all them. They're all grimy and grungy, and it's a whole different vibe. And you would go to their shows, and their shows would be pits, and they'd be stage diving and jumping off stacks, and it was crazy, man. It was a whole different vibe. But it just you know.
Yeah.
But it's that West Coast East Coast thing.
Yeah.
You know, just way more. You know.
Yeah, there was
Action Bronson's a whole.
It was
different
crazy to
vibe,
see him
you
because
know?
I watched him and I was like, this dude is so good.
He was pretty unknown at the time, or at least
he was
to us,
not
he was
known
unknown.
at all. This was what, like 2004-ish?
Action Bronson only got known in
No.
later
than that.
Yeah.
Was it later than that?
Yeah, because we were.
It must have been like 2008.
2010-ish?
But he
9.
still didn't get.
12.
He didn't get popular
He
until the
didn't
last
pop
like,
until
5
yeah.
years.
He's only popped in
Like
the last 5 or
2011,
6 years.
12.
Time is a flat
Okay.
circle. I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
would make sense.
I do.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. That was
Yeah.
an awesome show. I mean, we toured a lot. We did, like I said, West Coast. We did East Coast tours more. We did. I mean, and every band that we toured with was amazing. All the whole guys were awesome.
Yeah.
But playing the fest, like for me, was one of the highlights.
Oh, man,
you know
that's
what I mean?
fun.
Which is a big festival in Gainesville, Florida. What's the record label?
No idea.
No idea. No idea would put on this like 3-day music festival.
They still do.
Do they really?
Well, No Idea doesn't, but the Fest is still.
The Fest is still a thing?
Yeah, No
Okay.
Idea is not even a label, I don't think, anymore.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. But that would for me was like always a highlight, dude. Getting to fucking go down there.
In the regions that you guys have all played, and it's all so culturally diverse as far as the different spots. Like, is it not just East Coast, but is it like Chicago, Baltimore, or is it like New York, or is it Florida, or is it Portland and Seattle, or is it here? Like, what is like if you guys are like, okay, look, man, I want to go hit, like, we're gonna go do this, we're gonna go hit this region. And all we can do is this one. So we're gonna go hit Chicago and do the Illinois and do all that, or is it New York, or is it down
It was
south,
always a
or-
full U.S.
No,
after
what
that.
would
But like
you
the
guys
dream.
like? If you guys are like, we're all sitting around, we're all getting high, drinking beers, talking on a podcast in front of a bunch of people, and you guys are like, hey, you know
Hypothetically.
what? I would like to. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, what would it be? I mean, you've done so much stuff. I mean, you could. There's so many places that you can go. Like, but I mean, as far as like where we're at right now, is it like going back to the Mayfair days, or is it like going into the New York stuff, or like I mean,
know.
Florida is crazier than shit, you
Yeah,
know.
Florida was always
and then
nuts,
in the
yeah.
Pacific Northwest has its own vibe and its own different type of people, you know. So like, what would be like your ultimate like? Okay, this is what we're gonna go do.
I mean, for me, I'd say go to Europe or Japan.
Yeah,
And
100%.
get out of-
Yeah,
That's-
get out of the country.
yeah.
That
That's
was
probably-
the one thing we never got to do. That
Yeah,
just bums me
I always
out.
I was always regretful that we never got to
Yeah.
tour outside the U.S.
Yeah.
I don't even think we never even played Canada.
No.
You know, like
don't
we
think so.
only played U.S.
No,
Yeah, but for I think for us our goal when we were running was as many shows as possible, as often as possible, and there was like years where I would
Let me
argue we were
clarify.
verging on
I
100
thought
shows
that
a
I was
year.
clear
You know
about
what I mean?
this. What was your favorite place to play in the United States?
Okay, that was.
Yeah,
I
'cause
always
that's
had-
what I was trying to get. Like what was the spot that you guys like? Okay, I'll go do this again. You know, because it's all so different. I mean, Seattle is way different than going into Illinois. or
West Coast
Chicago
was never
Midwest,
good.
or
The West Coast shows never were good for me.
Seattle was okay.
Seattle was
was okay. Portland was fun. You know, like
They're fine.
sometimes it just depends on like what city and which of our
Also,
friends live in.
Who,
You know, too.
who
Like
are your friends in the area? Like
Yeah.
Denver was always
Denver was
incredible
awesome.
for us.
Yeah,
Denver
Because
was
we
always
had
rad.
really good friends in Denver. So
They
when
would
we
show
would
us
show up
around
to fucking
and-
Denver, it was a party. Like I think we had to learn to like take a day off essentially
Yeah.
after we went to Denver.
Yeah.
Because it was fucking nuts. I mean, Denver was nuts every time. The first time we played in Denver at Bar?
The bar.
We showed up and the fucking bartender. We get there and I think we were doing the Wrath and Ox tour.
Yeah, because Maddie was
Right,
with
so
us.
me and Nick were doing double duty every night, and I show up, and the fucking bartender hands me 2 pitchers of beer, and he's like, "Here's your beer," and I'm like, "Cool, dude, for the band." He's like, "No, that's for you." I was like,
us.
I'm sorry, what?" He's all, "That's just to get you started, dude. Let me know if you need more." He handed every fucking member of the band pitchers of beer.
2 pitchers.
He ended
2
up stage
pitchers.
diving, too,
Yeah,
right?
the owner who was the bartender he was stage diving off of his own bar into the fucking pit.
Yeah, and the bar was probably
It was chaos. dude.
the bar was probably maybe a little bit longer than this room.
yeah.
Like it was tiny. It was a small
It was
little
insane.
place.
But we had really great friends. There were
Yeah.
these guys playing Specific for Stars. They were in a million other bands. Shout out to those fucking guys.
Get some.
get some.
You know what I mean? All the fucking bands, and we had really good friends. So whenever we would go to a city that we had really close friends with, that was, for me, always the best shit.
Absolutely.
Because it felt like home a little bit. There's a few cities that we've played that feel like home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Richmond was always really cool and interesting. Denver, for me, was always really cool. New York was always fucking a weird adventure. You know what I mean? Remember showing up to pick up James, like going to his apartment?
No, we picked him up in Richmond.
No, but remember going to his apartment for the first time? Our buddy James Sproul, who would jump in with us every once in a while if we hit the East Coast. Do you remember the call he gave us about not wearing gold?
Oh, yeah.
That was trippy.
Oh, yeah.
We were rolling it. He lived in some deep part of Brooklyn, like when it was
Latin Kings.
when it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
So he calls us on the way in. He's like,
yellow, you couldn't wear that shirt.
No, yeah. So
No.
but that's the thing is like we're so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
We're rolling into town. He's like, how far out? I was like, an hour. And I don't know. He's probably talking to John. And he goes, hey, don't be wearing gold. And everyone's like,
yellow.
Why the fuck would we wear
wearing
like
black
we're
anyways.
thinking jewelry and shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we know it's a bad neighborhood. But he's like, no. Like nothing yellow. Period. You will get murdered. And we're like, oh fuck, okay.
Yeah.
You know, and then you get to James's apartment and it is the epitome of a New York apartment. It's half the whole apartment's half the size of this place. I think James was sleeping in a closet or something, like, essentially. You know what I mean? Like,
his house was pretty much a walk-in closet. It was tiny.
Dude,
you know.
at one point we sat
And
on
he
the
was probably
couch,
paying like $3
and his
grand for it
coffee
or
table
something.
was here, and his TV was on the wall right here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so for me, it was always, where do we have
Yeah.
friends?
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
It's always good to see friends on the road.
always, man. Yeah.
And we made friends too, you know,
Well,
like
yeah,
that was always
sure.
cool too. It
Yeah.
was just, you know, meeting random ass people.
Yeah,
Like
remember Phil Collins, dude?
Phil Collins
Remember
in
Phil
Buffalo?
Collins in Buffalo?
Yeah.
Dude.
This dude looks like he looked
yeah.
His
he
name
looked like
was
Phil
not Phil
Collins in
Collins.
like 1978, you know, like
Yeah.
like
an English bloke.
yes, but you know, like the slightly balding
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
blonde hair and like he had a big dome head like Phil Collins did.
Yeah.
And so all of his friends just called him Phil Collins.
Yeah.
His name was like, you know, like
knows, Mark.
Yeah, like Mark or something like a totally normal guy. But yeah, we just called him Phil Collins, and we're like,
Yeah.
It's
okay,
incredible, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
The
we-
nicknames
you know.
and stuff that we went through and all that is
Oh, yeah.
always whatever
well, we bought
just happened to catch.
We bought like some swag weed off of some dude named Barbecue in North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Remember
come
Barbecue?
on now.
Dude, that
No,
was
his name was
Dude,
fucking Barbecue.
I'm all about that
Yeah,
guy.
dude.
That
Pointed
dude,
out.
like that wasn't
Barbecue?
like we found
Yeah.
out that his name was Barbecue. He's like, "Hi, my name is Barbecue," and we're like, what the "Okay, what's
Yeah.
up, Barbecue?"
Yeah, you meet some weird
I swear to
motherfuckers,
dude,
man.
no shit. We would have had a conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
We would
He
have
was
ended
an
up
interesting
sitting in the
dude.
corner.
You would have
Like,
you would
why are we
have
calling you
snorted some
Barbecue?
fucking crank with
I don't think we even
Oh,
asked why
Jesus Christ,
why he was
dude.
called
There's,
Barbecue.
you don't ask that.
No, no.
Like, you don't ask the origin of that name, you know?
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
definitely am.
But that was always fun because, you know, like there was times when you got kind of like, you know, the local flavor. Like
yeah.
we played a show, I think it was in South Carolina or something like
See,
that.
that's kind of what
And-
my question was more about.
Yeah.
Because like I can understand going to Europe and going to Japan. I totally understand it because I study cultures and I'm into the cultures.
It's awesome
you know,
over there
but
for bands.
we also we don't appreciate our own cultures in this country enough.
Oh, just
We
going
don't appreciate
down
the
I-95.
different-
Right.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
like,
you experience so much of
Yeah.
of culture change
I
just
mean,
going
we
down
live
that
in
highway.
this, so we don't appreciate it. I don't think
Right.
as much.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody outside of here comes here to come and hang out and fuck everything else that's politically driven. It's still we still have an amazing country.
Yeah.
Right.
And to go and experience New York and that culture, or Baltimore and that, and I keep going to these ghetto ass cities, but there's still the places that aren't so ghetto.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
well, and I can't say Denver. My dad would tell me Denver stories when I was like fucking kid.
Really?
And
Like
about,
how bad it was, or
gnarly. And my dad was a gnarly old biker, and he'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah, I just fucking, you know, I went and picked up this much dope in Tacoma,
Mm-hmm.
and drove it straight to Denver, and then I go hook up with these guys in Denver, and then we come back to Seattle." So you know,
Yeah.
Denver's always been grimy.
Yeah.
You know, and going out there, it's like in my head, when I first went out there, I was like, "Oh, this is
It's a pretty clean, you know, I'm sure there's some kind of underbelly to it.
Always.
But, you know, it seemed like a really, you know, had like that nice promenade that went downtown. And
it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it was good.
My dad just wasn't, you know, back then it was, I mean, we're talking the
He wasn't
70s.
experiencing the touristy part. He was going to the...
We didn't have all the touristy spots.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing about the internet and where we're going in this world right now is, like, everything is so open to information to where it wasn't before.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
LA,
you
LA
had
culture.
to know. You had to
know the spot.
Yeah.
Of the spot that's cool to go check out.
Like
But
John
now you
C.,
go,
like-
cool things to do. And it will give you like 11 things that are like,
Yeah.
let's go check out this random
Or like
spot.
just John C.
my favorite
booking
shit.
Missing 23rd tours like on the phone.
Right.
Like literally calling
crazy, dude.
people long distance and then having a Thomas guide to guide you to the next venue. And then if you get lost, you have to call the venue from a payphone and figure out how, you know, like it was a different world.
Yeah,
and
it's like...
we were like right on the cusp of that.
We were right on the end of that era. You know what I mean? Which,
we still had a MapQuest
Speaking
tour.
of like Baltimore, like Baltimore was
Remember
nuts.
you guys were sleeping probably, but when we got lost in the
No,
West and we went to like the Deliverance.
Oh,
area,
no, I
do you
was
remember?
driving.
Nick was driving.
I was driving.
Barks
No,
driving.
Nick was driving.
Barks was shotgun.
And I had to back him out of there.
Oh,
Yeah.
So where we go?
So
let's
we're
get
driving
this
up to
up.
Denver. We just played some shitty show
Iowa?
in like Logan,
No.
Utah.
I think
And
this
we're-
is after Denver.
Yeah, but we went to like Newton,
On the way to
Iowa or
Omaha,
something.
the lovely Omaha night.
Oh,
God.
that was nice.
I forgot.
No,
about we should
this
tell them.
this one was like
Let's hold on. Let's slow down.
I believe
So
we.
let's get into Deliverance.
If
One of my
memory
favorite
is
movies
serving me
ever.
right,
Nick's not
I don't
drinking
drink.
the whole time.
Yeah.
So he smokes a lot of pot, but he
we'll-
remembers.
I
Yeah.
liked it.
I have like the stoner memory of all this stuff. They have like the non-memory of a
Right.
drinker.
Yeah.
And, but so like before the tour, we don't have GPS. We don't have smartphones.
No.
It's all flip phones. We MapQuest the directions from every venue to where we had to go and have this like
Yeah,
notebook of MapQuest directions.
it was our Bible. You know, it was our
Tell us how to get to the places.
it was the best way to do it.
We were on this road because MapQuest sent us on this road.
Yep.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Side note, I drove for a long time. Drove trucks. Drove a lot.
Yeah.
The adventure is MapQuest. It's the Thomas Guide is the adventure. So when you're saying that's the best, to me, what you guys are talking about is exciting.
It was.
I think we had a Thomas
Well,
guide
we all
too.
go. We
did
all
have
go.
one.
Yeah.
We
We
all
had the
go
map,
through that.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, like we were.
I'm sorry. All I had was the Thomas Guide.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't have
Yeah,
MapQuest.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have
MapQuest
a
would
computer.
absolutely.
I didn't
fuck
have a
you.
phone. I had
Absolutely.
a 1-800 number to figure out what was going on. So I didn't have there was no.
Yeah.
You know, I called 1-800 and called the boss to go, hey, this ain't right.
Yeah.
But when you're in the middle of the country, dude, and shit gets
Yeah.
fucking shaky, so
So like in the mountains.
we're
in the
on
mountains
this
of
wild
nowhere.
mountain road.
Driving up to Denver,
Right.
and like we just played some shitty show in Logan, Utah,
Yeah.
and so we're driving overnight. So it's like the middle of the night. All these dudes are asleep, and Barks was riding shotgun, and I was driving.
Right.
And so we were just following the road, and Barks is just like, "Okay, you got to make a right right here." And we're like, I was like, "This, okay, this doesn't look
We also
right."
have a
but
van and a trailer. At
yeah,
this point.
this is the first time I've driven a trailer too, so
Right.
like I'm not great at it. You know,
Right.
I can drive, but I can't really maneuver.
Yeah.
And so we pull in, and it's like a dirt fucking road with this like gate, like
Barbed wire,
gated
like-
door, some random building, small little
Trash cans in
building
the street,
Yeah.
too,
with
right?
trash cans in front of the
back.
gate, and we're just like,
And our headlights, I'm talking 2:30 in the morning. Our
Yeah.
headlights are beaming into this.
Yeah.
What must be a commune of fucking psychopaths.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
3
at
in the
this
morning,
point,
we have
right?
no idea where we
Yeah.
are, what it is. It's completely black. It's in the middle of the Rocky Mountains, and we're like, what the fuck? And I could not figure out. I couldn't back out because
Right.
I didn't. So I'm like, Craig, wake up!
They wake me up
What
from
the
a
fuck?
dead
I don't know how to
sleep.
get out of here. We got to get out of here though because this is
Now
really
people are
weird.
starting to stir from tents
Yeah.
and shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you're like,
And 3
what
days
the-
ago, you guys watched The Hills Have Eyes.
Literally.
Oh,
dude,
for sure.
like,
Yeah, we're just like we're gonna
so
get murdered.
I
out
get
here.
woke up
Yeah.
out of a dead sleep, and I'm like, I get out of the van, and I'm like, where the fuck are we, dude? Like, why are we? What is happening? And they're like, we gotta turn around. I'm like, hold my beer, dude. I'm like, yeah. And I ripped that fucking trailer around.
I think I had to go outside because no one wanted to go outside. I'm like, I guess I'll go outside and make sure we don't hit these like fucking trash cans every day.
Yeah, I had no idea what was going on.
And that was on the way to Omaha, which we should absolutely talk about Omaha because that was the craziest.
It was
one of the craziest moments on any tour I've ever been on in my life.
It was pretty wild.
So yeah, go ahead, please.
So that was the night we played with High on Fire, right?
Right.
Okay, so we played with High on Fire. Who Craig loves, like they're a great band. We split a set. I think only Ox was supposed to play, but we split a set. We played real quick.
Right.
And we don't have a place to stay, and there's this punk house, this famous.
My
punk
buddy
house.
Rhodey, his name's Ryan Rhodey, who had lived in the house, which was a
house is being generous.
It was
a mansion.
It was a mansion split into a threeplex that had 6 fucking bedrooms in each one.
Yeah.
And every one of them was full of punks.
Probably like 20
people.
people.
20 people to a fucking house.
This is where?
In Omaha, Nebraska. Right? Omaha has like a crazy music scene. Like you would never expect it in a million years.
You can't afford to go find something else?
Well, dude,
I mean,
we would sleep on any floor, any house.
And we did.
So we're hanging out.
The whole Montalvo scene on another level.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. So we're hanging out, and there's a bar across the street. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, that's the best bar in Omaha. We're like, what? They're like, yeah, the best jukebox, this is the coolest bar. And me and Scheimer, who was on tour with us selling merch, we go, all right, let's go check out this bar. Go across the street. We're like, shot of Jameson and a PBR, because PBR is all we drank back then. They're like, okay, cool, that's $5. We're like, oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay, it's like this. And we go to the jukebox. They have Ill Repute. They have Aggression. They have Gorilla Biscuits. They have all this punk stuff. We're like, okay, maybe they weren't lying.
Yeah.
And so me and him, I don't know what happened to you guys, but
They literally had like Ill Repute.
It's like
all
a
this
full
punk stuff. So
legit
me and him put all this
bar,
punk stuff. We're getting wasted because it's $5 shot in a beer, and then like the dude that does Bright Eyes came in. I don't know. I forget his
Connor
name.
Roberts.
Like there's this whole scene from Omaha.
Saddle
like,
Creek
oh, shit,
Records.
there's those guys from the Faint. Like this is the coolest bar in Omaha. We get shit faced. We go back over to the house.
Yeah.
So they I don't know what they were doing.
We were in the backyard.
They were in the back. We go. This house is huge. We go to this front, and we're just talking to these random people that are in the front. And this guy's like, "Oh shit, I gotta take a piss." And the other guy's like, "Wait!" And the guy's on the top of the stoop, and this other guy goes down below him and opens up his mouth, and the guy just starts fucking pissing in his mouth.
He told him to do it.
And the guy's like, "Wait for me! Don't piss yet! Wait for me!" He goes,
he's like, "Pee in my mouth."
Just met these guys,
and we just met these guys, and there's also like other people with us, and they don't see anything wrong with it, and we're like.
This was Tuesday for them. Yeah.
What is going on? They're like, oh, that's just Bill and Tom. Don't worry about them. They do this all the time. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Where are we?
Yeah.
Where are the rest of everybody?
Yeah.
And so I go walking around trying to find them, and I trip and I fall into this pile of rocks.
Yeah.
And I look up and there's another stoop with about 10 people looking at me. They're all, dude, you're in our garden. I'm like,
it's rocks.
It's rocks. That's our garden. I'm like. Where are we? Where are my friends? And like some nice girl came. Oh, let's go find your friends, honey.
Dude. So
then we find them. And it keeps going. It keeps going,
dude.
And we find them.
Yeah.
And then we start like setting up places to sleep.
Right.
Maddie's sleeping outside.
Right. Maddie slept on a bench outside.
Yeah.
Some people got couches. Some people. I said, "Fuck this."
There was a tent in the living room that I think I slept in.
There was a tent in the
living room.
So
So we went in the house, and someone had actually pitched a full tent and was sleeping in a tent.
Like
in the
a
living room.
6-man tent. It was
like
huge.
a 6-manner.
Yeah, it was big.
So it's like this house is
huge.
fucking. And my buddy Ryan is like. When the first time I visited him, he was like a normal human, and then when we came back, I was like, "What in the fuck has happened here?" Like, it was like the house was like there was 5 roommates. Everyone had their own room. It was like pretty clean.
Oh, the first time.
You know what I mean? When I first went there, because I took a trip to see Godspeed You Black Emperor out there years ago, and that's how I met.
What was the name?
This band called Godspeed You Black Emperor. They're fucking incredible.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I have this eye on my arm. But anyway, I come back to see him years later, and I'm like, what in the fuck is going on around here, dude? And I mean, who knows what it was, but I mean, the house was a complete fucking disaster.
It was crazy.
So, it was nuts, you know.
So they sleep inside. I go sleep in the van.
Yeah, you guys
I think I'm
slept
by
in the van.
myself. I don't know where else.
Maddie.
Maddie.
Because Maddie, do you remember the puking?
I puke.
Oh, you puke.
I puke. So like, cause I got hammered, and so like, it's like the morning, and you know, you're sleeping in the van. There's sun. It's Omaha. I think it was kind of warm.
It's humid at least.
So I just open the door and just start puking. Like just puking everything. And I look up and we're parked in front of a salon that's filled with old ladies getting their hair done. And I was just like, oh shit. So I just like wait and close the door and I get out the driver's side, go to the house, and there the dude's cooking us pancakes, which is super sweet, but he has no plates. So
they have no plates, no silverware.
He's ripping up 12-pack containers and go, here you go.
He's handing us pancakes and scrambled eggs on 12-pack cardboard.
Ripped up cardboard.
No silverware at all in the house. Like none.
Using pancakes like tortillas and grabbing
the
eggs with the fucking...
But they're served on 12-packs, like 12-pack cardboard. You know
but then some people were sleeping outside on the porch, and the guy came out and said, hey, you guys got to not sleep out here. It's kind of weird.
That's weird.
They had like weird morals about shit.
Yeah.
But then you were like, do you see
That's what
what's
we're saying.
going on?
Bro, this is weird. There's guys peeing in each other's mouths. That's not weird. But sleeping on the couch on your porch.
I honestly don't know how I could have...
It was a wild.
You would such a weirdo about that shit. If I'd seen two dudes peeing,
that was a fun thing though.
It was probably one of the most wild nights for
100%,
for sure.
But that's like part of the fun of it is because it was like a new episode of your favorite TV show. Because then we just pack up, get in the van, go to the next city. Like, bye guys, have fun peeing in your mouth, in each other's mouths.
Then
sorry, we weirded you out.
You meet Phil Collins.
Then
what the fuck is
happening? You're buying weed off a barbecue.
Or like Baltimore. Baltimore. We went to
crazy.
Baltimore and played this incredible show
at a church.
At a church. It was fucking cool, man. The
an
show was
old
cool.
abandoned church.
And there's
or
this
something.
band called A Warm Gun, and they
Shout out Warm Gun.
Yeah, dude, they were
good.
really cool, man. Really cool kids. And they invited us to sleep at their house. I don't know if it was their house or a friend's house.
A friend's house out in the boonies.
Right. So at this point,
outside of Baltimore,
we came. So this is right when California weed was nuts, and no one else in the country had it. So we were fucking rolling.
And we had the
deep,
volcano.
Dude.
Oh, we had the volcano.
And we also had a volcano. Right? We had a volcano.
And we brought like an AC adapter so we can,
we had
in
we
the
were
van and all that. We were set up.
obliterating the country. Like
seriously, man.
I mean, on a level that people had not experienced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at that time, like 04, 05-ish.
You guys are lucky you didn't end up in prison.
Dude, and I'll tell you a story about that.
It's an asthma device, right?
Yeah. We said it was an asthma device. That was going to be our story if we ever got pulled over.
Yeah, and it did happen.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So we play Baltimore, and they're like, hey, man, come sleep at our house. They have this killer.
Hey, real quick, so you guys understand, this is what we call white privilege.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we have this killer, and also Scheimer had fucking pounds with him the whole time that he was selling to everybody.
And it's really cool that he has stepped above doing the weed, and now he just carries pounds of cocaine with him everywhere he goes.
So anyway,
he's moving up in the world.
Yeah, he's doing really good with all those pounds of cocaine.
Jesus, all right. So we play Baltimore. Show's great. We have a good time. We go back to this farmhouse, and it's the same kind of thing. It's like 1 million people there. You don't know who lives there or whatever. I think we're out of weed. A lot cleaner.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a fucking maniac.
It was almost picturesque. Like the next day, I remember waking up and just like looking around.
Really wish you guys
and it was just like,
of that shit,
dude, there's photos.
Yeah, and it was just like fields, like just beautiful fields and all that stuff.
The Oklahoma
like totally
part,
different than what we just. 25 minutes we're in the middle of Baltimore.
Right.
Yeah. You know, like in the ghetto asphalt in part of Baltimore, and then we're in this like countryside,
beautiful, gorgeous,
place,
woods,
like where?
Right outside of Baltimore.
Right outside of Baltimore.
So the Baltimore was beautiful.
No, Baltimore
outside of Baltimore.
Okay. I grew up in Detroit. Yeah. And I didn't grow up in Detroit, but
we have a Hamtramck story.
I had lived in Detroit, and everybody thinks of Detroit as what Detroit is.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there's Michigan.
Right.
Yes.
And Michigan is beautiful.
Right.
Same thing with Maryland.
There's so much amazing places, but there's Detroit.
Yeah, so we play the show. It's awesome. We go back to these guys' house. We're out of weed at this point, but we also have this thing called a volcano.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys don't know, a volcano was a vaporizer before there was vape pens, and it basically filled up a garbage bag of fucking weed vapor, right?
Not the first vaporizer, but it filled up.
It was wild. It was a wild for everyone else on planet.
It has like a valve at the end of it,
that was like
and all that.
The tube.
The tube.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah. So this fills up a garbage bag.
Yeah. It's basically just the tube filled up a balloon.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a little valve at the end.
We're out of weed, and we want to get high, and these guys are like, we got weed, and I was like, cool. I have something that will fucking blow your mind. So we bring the Volcano in, we put it on the fucking table, and we start grinding their weed up and throwing it in there, right? And we smoked, I mean, we're fucking pros at this point. I mean, we
100%.
smoke weed. And this is Baltimore dog shit Mexican fucking brick weed, right? And I watched personally at least 7 to 10 people pass out. Just, I mean, pass out. Like, partying, fucking having a good time. They smoke this thing and they're like, brrr, and they're done. Like, done, dude. We ended the whole party. The whole fucking party's done. So we wake up in the morning and we're fucking
Did you drink all their shit?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did all the things.
Yeah.
But we weren't being maniacs, you know?
Yeah,
No,
they were
so we
nice
wake up in the
enough,
morning-
nice enough to
yeah,
let us
and-
stay.
No,
Yeah,
you are still awake.
Well, we're just going about our business.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like-
they're like, yeah,
it's
okay,
another
well,
day. We got to get packed up and get on the road. So I don't know the owner of the house, I don't know who the fuck it is, comes out and he's like, "Hey man, you fucking you fucked us last night. You did something to us. You spiked that shit." And I was like, "Hey buddy, that was your weed. Like that was 100% your weed. We didn't do anything to it. I just said I told you guys this thing is, it will fuck you up." And they literally at one point like wanted to fist fight us almost. They're like, "You fucking, I can't believe you did
Like
that.
you drugged us or whatever.
You fucking did. You put something in there. I've never been that high in my life. What the fuck?" And I'm like, "This is California, dude. Welcome to California marijuana."
Vaporizing is different.
Yeah.
It
It's
takes
like
all
totally
the
different
THC
high.
into your mouth.
Vaporizers are tripping.
You know,
I
and especially back then, the first time, like they thought we put drugs in their work. Why would we?
Why
do
would
that?
we?
Yeah,
spike
why
it?
would we
Letting
waste-
us stay at your house?
Yeah, why
like,
would we
And
do
why would
Yeah.
we waste perfectly good drugs on spiking other people's
100%.
drugs? You know, like
yeah.
It's insane. dude.
Welcome to the future.
It was
Yeah.
insane.
This is
dude.
the future of like getting stoned. All right?
And with that same vaporizer, we took that thing. It was in the center console on a fucking pedestal the whole tour. I mean, this is when weed is not
constantly
cool.
just being
Yeah,
passed around
Just
the van.
constant pass around.
Nothing
And
else to do
we
on
at
an
one
8-hour
point,
drive.
Blow a tire in Georgia, right?
yeah,
I think we were in Georgia, right? And so I'm out there huffing and puffing, fucking cussing.
You're trying to blow the tire.
Yeah, I'm trying to just blow it up. So I'm changing the tire.
Anybody that could do it.
Yeah, I'm changing a tire, and all of a sudden, a Georgia cop just appears out of like the ether.
Yeah.
And he's, I mean, exactly
You're
what
in the
you would
country,
assume.
right?
Fucking,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
With a
somewhere
big old
in the
fucking
middle of
lip and
nowhere.
dip. He's holding his fucking belt. He's like, "What y'all boys doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck?" You know, like, what the fuck? And for some reason, we didn't smell like weed. The van didn't smell like weed. I don't know what.
I don't
it
think we
was.
had any weed
We didn't
by
have
that
any
point,
weed
really.
at this point.
And at that point, I mean, the Volcano didn't really smell like weed,
Right.
You know, so that also helped.
So I'm changing the tire, and the cops, the doors are open, and now he's starting to poke his fucking big old oaky head around, and he's looking at shit, and he's like, "What are y'all doing?" I was like, "We're a band. We just blew a tire. It's all good. Like, we'll be fine. Whatever." And he's like, "All right." And he's looking around. He sees the Volcano, and he's like, "Oh, what is that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my asthma machine, dude. That's for asthma. I have asthma bad." And he's like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Obviously California." And he's like, "They got like an asthma, like that." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it's fucking asthma, man. Like that's." He's like, "Oh, fuck, okay." And he just gets in his car and leaves, dude.
Just leaves.
Like the amount of, we never got a ticket. We never
Nothing.
broke down, really. I mean,
Kinda.
a couple times.
Kinda.
We never had an accident. I can't fucking believe that we got through all those tours
Yeah.
without any major shit.
we learned what vapor lock means
We did, yeah, we did.
a couple times. And then I think
Thanks, Jeff Dean, for saving us that night.
Right, yeah.
that was actually fun because I remember like we were coming into Chicago,
Yeah.
and like we were hitting toll booths, and like if we stopped, the van would stall.
Yeah,
so we had to just keep going.
I
and
just was holding
he was just
middle fingers.
like, yeah, Craig was just like doing this.
I was also
driving
Daisy
through.
Dukes and no t-shirt. Because it was so hot.
And they were just going.
Yeah,
I mean, that
and
was
we're
like,
just all.
"Nope, we're not
Thanks for not
stopping."
Send me a ticket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
I think we got like one ticket.
Maybe one.
It was in New York, parking ticket,
Parking
of
ticket,
course.
yeah.
You know, like that's
Which
just-
Carter was so mad about. That Glass and Ashes tour, by the way. Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah, that was fun.
So there was a band called Glass and Ashes Ventura. They were incredible. Just one of the most special fucking bands that's ever come out of Ventura that did a lot of things, but not like they should have. And
It's
we
Glass in Action.
Glass and Ashes. Glass and
They
Ashes.
started off as a band called Kenji,
Right.
same members.
Yeah.
And then named after the Kenji Shack where they used to practice, and
Right.
our friend Kenji and all that.
And they
And
broke
then-
up. and then got back together.
Well, they got in a car accident in like Idaho, like middle of Idaho. They were on a tour, and that's where the name Glass and Ashes came from. You know, they had jackknifed and flipped the truck that they were in.
Right.
And they got injured and all that stuff, and they like kind of get up in the middle of the road and nowhere, and all there is glass and ashes around. So that's where.
But we did a whole tour with
amazing
them.
band. Though.
They were so fucking good, man. We did a whole tour with them, a U.S. tour. Played the fest for the first time with them, and Mike Carter, who I love to death, and shout out Mike. I'd love to have him on the pod, but
he'll never come on here.
He's Mr.
We got John.
I know, we did get John eventually. It only took me 3 years, but
Yeah.
Maybe 6 more I'll get Carter on.
Yeah.
But
one of these days, maybe
Cartier.
one of the funniest things that ever happened, just by happenstance, because I am an absolute shit talker like you are, and when I know someone's having a fucking problem, I just go in,
Yeah.
So Carter was fucking pissed, and the whole band was about to implode on itself, and we're all super friends. Like, I don't think have we ever had an actual argument? Like, maybe one or like. Maybe one, right? In the 10+ years we played together.
Never like I don't want to speak with you or anything. Like, no.
We've never had that. So we're just like these
we don't go to bed
happy
angry.
stoners. These guys are having a midlife crisis on this tour, right? And so we're writing. I don't know where the fuck we were.
We're coming into Grand Rapids or Kalamazoo.
Yeah, Carter is like, because we had the Bible, which had every map to every show. It had the money in it. It had like all kinds of things. And Carter was just, I don't know, annoying the fuck out of me with how many times he had brought up how hard he worked on this tour. And so I started calling him David Copperfield. I was like, you're not a fucking magician, dude. Like, you're not David fucking Copperfield. I just started talking shit. And it set him off in like a weird way. And he just chucked the whole entire book out of the window. Right? And didn't say anything to anybody. Right? So, and I don't even know what's happening, but I just started calling him David Copperfield. I was like, fuck you, magician. Like, anyone could book a fucking tour. Yeah, I was just going in on him just because he was being such a little butthole about that. And rightfully so. I will tell you, he was probably right. He worked his ass off.
He did.
Absolutely.
He had every right to brag about it.
There was other issues going on within the band.
He was fighting with the other members.
Yeah.
And so anyway, he throws the whole book out of the show, right? And then doesn't say anything to anybody, but then has to double back and go find it. And then that imploded. We watched a band implode on tour. Like, they came back and had this massive fight, and I just remember me, Nick, and John.
I was there.
We were like watching this fucking band just eat itself. You know what I mean? And my favorite band in the world. I was like, God damn it, guys, stop fighting. Just fucking so high, dude.
And the guy's house that we were staying at, he was just kind of like...
Yeah, we had a blowout in some random stranger's house. You know what I mean?
No, it was a friend of theirs. It was a guy in North Lincoln, I think.
Oh, that's right.
The band North
that
Lincoln.
Band was amazing. Yeah.
So yeah, it must have been. It was Grand Rapids.
Or Grand Rapids,
Grand Rapids.
Yeah, dude, we've had some insane fucking tours.
And then he secretly went back and picked it up.
Yeah, we had to double back. Yeah.
And then the next day he's like, "All right, guys, let's go." And we're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
I actually brought that up. I saw Carter at a show up in Ojai recently. I can't remember what it was. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was a Spire show. Okay. And somehow we got on the subject of that, and he told me that he actually didn't throw the Bible out the window.
Oh, really?
It was an empty binder that he threw out the window, but he wanted to like make a point, So like that was. So he didn't even throw the real.
He got us.
Yeah, he got us. Yeah. But yeah, he was just like, no, I didn't throw out the Bible. And I was like, dude, for over 10 years,
this story wrong the whole time.
Yeah,
but yeah,
either way, he got.
We were such little maniacs.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought too. But yeah, no, he was pissed that night.
He was so
David Copperfield just
set him off.
He snapped right after that. He's, what the fuck are you, David Copperfield? And he's just like,
fuck you.
We're driving across a bridge or something, and we're just like, what the fuck are you gonna do now?
Oh my god. Yeah, man, we had some fucking great times, man. Seriously.
Was it your birthday where you got drunk and called yourself and left a message for yourself?
Yeah, that
was supposed to be.
That was a bad night, dude. That was hands down the most out of control I've ever been in my life.
Didn't you? You thought it was Rosie, right?
Yeah, so
you thought you were calling Rosie, and you're just like, I
may have told this story in the podcast. If not, we went on tour. We played it. We were supposed to play a show in DC. Remember, that was the show that we called the kid.
And he was like a 16-year-old kid. He was grounded.
Oh, yeah.
He got grounded and couldn't come to the show.
It was my birthday, and
we played a Salvadorian restaurant.
We were supposed to. We didn't even play.
Yeah.
We just went to the Black Cat? 9:30.
Yeah, my friend John took us to the Black Cat.
Black Cat. So it was a legendary club in
free,
DC.
I think, or cheap.
And so we were going to stay at this lady's house with Carter knew, and blackout fucking hammered because it was my birthday, and then there was this girl that was there that was flirting with me, like suicide girl, hot, you know. So I was like, and I'm not a cheater, I'm not doing it. So I got shithoused, and then basically I puked 3 times on the way to get to Richmond. I got out, and I was talking a ton of shit to Jesse Jenny that time.
You called him a redheaded stepchild.
I kept calling him a redheaded. I was like, you Gene Wilder looking motherfucker. I was just like, I was mean. I was like bad tequila mean. You know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I get out of the car. Apparently, I kicked dents insides of cars.
Yes.
At one point,
you were walking down the street kicking cars.
I was kicking cars, and I tried to fight a whole house.
Yes.
A whole entire house of people. They were partying in their front yard, and I was like, blah, blah, like yelling.
He's not exaggerating.
Shut the fuck up. I think I ripped my shirt off, and I was like, let's fucking go. And everyone's like, and they let me keep walking. Anyway, I burst into Carter and that chick's room like 1,000,000 times to go pee that night because the only bathroom was through her room, and I'm pretty sure they were doing something. And I wake up the next morning. I had to apologize to everybody in the band the whole time. And I go to check my phone. I have a voicemail. And I listened to it, and it's me. It's me on my own voicemail. And I called Rosie, and I was like, I just love you so much. I'm fucking like just spilling my guts. I don't know how you could possibly leave a voicemail on your own phone, but I did it on a flip phone, like on a Razor. I fucking somehow called my own phone, and then.
Yeah.
But that's not the first or only time I had to apologize. I pissed on all of Nick's gear once.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was bad. Remember when I pissed on her sleeping bag and all the things? Yeah. I'm
really?
Sorry. Yeah, you remember that?
Hot Lana.
On Hot Lana.
Oh, Hot Lana. You knocked over the
Hot
sign.
Lana.
You like knocked over the sign.
I
pulled
pulled a street sign over.
So we had booked the tour all the way out to New York to play CMJ that year.
Right.
And after that, we met up with our friends Hull, and the rest of the tour, their booking agent, they had a booking agent that booked the rest of the tour, except for I think Austin. We played some festival in Austin.
And we had the fest.
And the fest.
Yeah.
So we had like just kind of a string of just really not great shows all the way down the East Coast.
We had killer shows all the way to New York, terrible shows all the way down the coast till we got to the fest. But George, Atlanta,
we
the Drunken Unicorn, right?
Yeah. Well, at that point, like you guys were just kind of like, just frustrated, and we weren't making any money, and we're like, what the fuck? We didn't have any weed, So you guys bought a bottle of Wild Turkey.
Oh yeah.
Oh. And
we did.
Craig well, these guys all got hammered, but Craig got fucking hammered, and so we were like loading up from the show. And he was just like, let's weird these guys out. We just kind of met these guys maybe a week ago.
Really show who we were.
Yeah, so we were all, let's weird these motherfuckers out. We
used to call going Night Zoo.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And that's like when we would get hammered, the animals would come out.
Yeah.
And so we'd call it going Night Zoo. So we're like, we're going Night Zoo tonight. Dude.
Yeah.
We're going to fucking show whole, like what Californian dudes do.
Yeah.
Essentially. And they were all like, they're really...
How the fuck did you deal with this shit?
Dude, Nick,
lots of weed.
He's such an angel, dude.
Lots of weed.
It's insane. The amount of shit we put Nick through.
Oh, man. I remember trying to order Burger King that night. That was fun.
Yeah.
Is it really just weed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all he did. I mean, yeah.
They never shared drugs with me because I was the driver.
I didn't do drugs back then.
You guys did Molly and fucking
Well, that was the last show. Yeah, that's true.
Every time I hear this shit, any of it, all of it, I just realize how bad my control issues are.
Oh yeah,
every time you get because there's so much shit there's no way I'd fucking deal with.
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean,
so much. Just I just have different control issues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you also you put up with a lot with for people that you love. So
of course, yeah.
It was like it was like traveling cross country with your family.
Well, it was like I would do all the day driving. And
I'm not traveling cross country with my family.
Well, you know what I mean.
Not.
Like, not,
no, I know, but
there's that kind of like
yeah. Like, but that's and I love.
If you had to drive across country with your family, you would have to be on a lot of weed.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
the one time
or at least
that I
I would.
traveled with my family when my grandfather passed away up in northern in Arcadia or Oregon, somewhere up there, Redding. Yeah. I didn't really.
You need cope a lot.
I smoked. I think I drove the whole
Yeah.
way and just smoked.
Yeah.
You know.
But anyway,
it's a
so
nightmare.
yeah. So we get to Atlanta, get a bottle of Wild Turkey. These guys get fucking hammered.
Shit.
And so we were gonna weird out these dudes. Like we
decided to actively weird them out.
Yeah. So Craig just starts raging. We're loading up the van. Craig just starts fucking raging. He pulls a sign out of the ground, throws it, and these guys are just like, "What the fuck?" He kicked like one of John's drums like across the parking lot. He's like, "Ah, fuck this!" and just like kicks it. And we're like, "Wow, okay." And then we're like driving to like a Motel 6 or something, and then somebody had the grand idea of going through Burger King. I got like 6 drunk ass people in the van, and I'm trying to order for like all these motherfuckers. And Brent was so drunk that he paid for everybody.
Right.
He paid for everybody's food.
Oh.
And then
Brent, dude.
and then we get to the hotel. We're unloading out the back of the van. It's kind of like on a hill. My sleeping bag fucking rolls out the back, and at that point, Craig loves to pee outside. I'm sure you know this.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So we're 6 feet away from an actual bathroom in the yeah. But he decided he wanted to pee right there, and his pee just went all over my sleeping bag, and I was just all.
Shit.
And I just had like the most like trying fucking like 3 hours dealing with these fucking drunk
How did
monkeys.
you deal with that though?
He's such a nice guy, dude.
You know, he's.
First of all, what are you gonna say to me when I'm hammered?
No, that's what I'm
He's
saying.
not gonna. Yeah, anything I say, I was like, they're not gonna remember any of this
The only thing
anyway.
you do is
so.
go get a wooden bat. Don't get aluminum because you're just gonna dent it.
Nick's
True.
not that
Go
guy,
get a
man.
good wood bat.
Yeah.
And wait until he's not looking
And just
at
crack
all,
me.
and
And I would've-
crack him
I
on the
would've
side of the
taken
head.
it, yeah.
And then in the morning he's gonna go, I got a headache.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I mean,
I did your
Play-
laundry. I bought you breakfast.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for
You know what
sure.
I mean?
You know, like, that's the
that's
thing.
the apology.
I know,
The ultimate
he's a
apology
sweetheart.
is like, I'll do your laundry. I'll buy you food.
yeah.
Like that's pretty much as
And
good as
honestly, I mean, we were playing fucking loud, aggressive music every night, so that is how any
Yeah,
anger
yeah.
issues or
Yeah.
anything like that I had,
Yeah.
you know, I just take it out on the
get
next
rid
show,
of it.
you know. So
Take it out on your bass.
yeah, or you know, screaming into a microphone or whatever, you know, like.
Yeah.
So
There were some moments, man.
I think that's probably what keeps a lot of bands together is that they have a release every night of playing music, and it, you know, and having that emotional release,
Yeah,
you know,
being able to
every
get it
night,
out.
you know. So
Little
it's not kind of
haiku.
like it's therapy
Yeah,
every
right.
night, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's what
So-
keeps a lot of bands together.
Again, just totally ignorant. You play drums?
I play bass.
He was
You
a
play
drummer.
bass. You're the drummer.
He's a drummer.
And then you're the singer and guitar player.
Yeah.
Hey, man. I saw you once.
Well, hey,
All
man.
right.
And there's a
What do you
there's a
work?
lefty.
Where do you
lefty.
work?
I work at D.W drums.
Okay. And how many bands do you sing for?
7.
10,
zero.
12,
17.
13?
Yeah. Now he's in
For
head
what,
cut.
this week?
Yeah.
How long
Yeah.
before
Zero.
that changes?
0.
But I've seen
Yeah.
you, I think
Yeah.
I've seen you play on every part of the stage.
Right.
Yeah. I've
You
sang
know,
in a few different
and
bands.
then, yeah, so you guys are talented, man. It's pretty incredible, you know.
I mean, I owe pretty much every musical endeavor after the Wrath to one of these guys.
Right.
yeah.
You know, like I played in Kyle's Dr. No, and I got that through the Wrath because Tim, the guitar player, mastered our last record.
Right.
And then I joined Tongue with Craig.
Right.
And then John got me the gig I'm in now
With Mercer.
with
Which is
Mercer.
so good, dude.
And, you know, with his, you know, oldest friend in the world, Martin, who he was in Dick Circus with.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, I owe pretty much every musical project I've ever done to this band.
I mean,
you know?
it's one of the things I love about all of this stuff within our community is it's all incestual.
Absolutely.
Everything. Every last bit of it's incestual. I don't care which band it is, from the oldest one all the way through.
Oh.
It all works itself out in all the different people.
Brian
Yeah.
Parra tried to do a Ventura scene, like, family tree, and it was the most convoluted. I don't think he even finished it. It was just the most. Everybody's been in a band with everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, like,
nuts, dude.
I have a connection to Kenny through the band I'm in right now because I'm in a band with Brian Russell, who Kenny grew up with.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like everybody is connected in some
100%.
way.
And hey, shout out to Kenny, dude, because when the Wrath was going. When the Wrath was fucking going hard, Kenny showed up to every fucking show and filmed shit. He filmed our first music video.
He made like a bunch of videos.
He made a bunch of videos of us playing. Fucking, hey, Kenny, shout out to you, man. You've been involved in our lives for a million years, and it's not fucking lost on me. You know what I mean?
And a shout out to those sweats.
That's right, dude.
You know, we
those
need
are
to
pretty
throw a
sweet,
little
man.
something on those, man. Those are dope. Those
Yeah.
definitely came from South Oxnard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
bought 'em
definitely
at
some
the
fucking
bodega,
Southsiders shit
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. So seriously,
Did you
Kenny,
get that?
you've always,
Did you get those
always
from the
shown
four-way
up.
meat market?
No, I got these off the internet.
Okay, all right, yeah.
But Kenny has always showed up, and he's always been filming the Wrath, and he was always fucking there from literally the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, he would just like randomly hit me up and, hey, I made this video, and you're like, holy shit, dude, this is fucking awesome. Like, you know what I mean? So it's been an amazing thing. And so
Do you
just
still have
kind
the
of
gas mask
Yes.
from that one video? Yeah, you still have the gas mask.
you do nice, dude.
His gas basketball. And
Yeah, Kenny had a gas
Yeah,
mask
okay.
on for a long time.
Yeah.
But just kind of wrapping things up, we started, kind of gearing down about 10 years ago, essentially. I was having kids. Everyone's busy.
Well, here's a funny fact. Here's a funny fact about me and this guy right here. Mm-hmm. So every time me and this guy right here put out a record, he has a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like fucked up.
Pretty true, yeah.
It is fucked up. So like we put out our first record.
Yeah.
We're all stoked.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Rosie's pregnant.
Right.
Like, okay, cool. You know.
Band's over.
Yeah.
Then we keep going.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Oh, band's not over.
hey, we're gonna put out this second record. This label likes us. We're gonna
Yeah.
do some stuff. Oh, hey guys, guess what?
Yeah.
Have another kid.
He told us about that kid the day we left on tour. He said, by the way, guys,
I'm having another kid.
we're having another kid. We're like, we're just about to leave on a 6-week tour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then years after that, me and him have a joke hardcore band called Dad Brains. Like,
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
Pat, our friend Pat's band.
Great.
And
great.
I am like, hey, do you want to come join our dad band? Because you're like the most dad I've ever known. And he's like, fuck yeah. We put out 7-inch. Guess what? I'm having another kid.
Yeah, that's true. I do my best fucking when I'm trying to create, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Dad
I
Brains
cover
is
all
so
the
good,
things.
dude.
Yeah.
It is such a good.
Yeah.
So
Just
me and him putting out
ironic, man.
records, he
It's
just
a
like
problem.
has kids.
Yeah. Well, now I can't
Yeah.
have
Now,
anymore.
yeah,
so
see,
you're-
so that's, it happened.
Yeah, so it's a good time. But like I said, man, walking away from the band for me, Brent. So Brent is not here. Brent is the 4th member of the Wrath, he came in pretty early. We love him to death. He does not like to be on camera. He doesn't like to do interviews. We respect that. It's fine.
Well, I mean, if you ended
He also lives
terrorism,
an hour away.
yeah,
You
and
live
if
an
you
hour
ended
away.
terrorism like Brent did, you
Yes,
probably
this
wouldn't
is
want to
true.
be on
I will tell you
camera.
one fact about Brent is that at one point on tour, we were hammered in the van one night, and he goes, "I got to tell you guys something." And I'm like, "Okay." And so Brent is a CNC dude,
The machinist.
He's a machinist.
Oh,
Like,
he
he worked
could have
for.
started all this
Yeah,
with.
sorry.
He's a machinist.
So he's a
Yeah.
and then
machinist.
everybody that knows what's up would be like,
He
All right.
shreds on guitar. He's an incredible fucking wealth of knowledge. He has incredible ideas, incredible riffs. But he's a machinist. So he was
But-
working for a
introvert.
company essentially that did shit for high-end military contracts.
okay,
So we don't really know a lot about what he does. But at one point on tour, Brent goes, "Hey," and he's hammered. He's hammered in the van. This is like a 2 a.m. fucking confession, right? He's like, I gotta tell you guys something. And I'm like, we're like, what, dude? Like, we're on a drive. Oh, no, was it the fest? We're at the fest at this point. He's like, I gotta tell you guys something. And we're like, what, dude? And he's like, I single-handedly stopped terrorism. And I'm like, excuse me? Immediately, we're like, I'm
What?
sorry, what? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I made the harness that housed the camera for SEAL Team 6 to kill Osama bin Laden. I stopped terrorism. And it was, if you know Brent, it's one of the funniest fucking things
Straight-faced,
I've ever heard in my
dead
life.
serious.
Like, this
no
had been
real about
eating-
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This had been eating him alive for
Yeah.
years, and he single-handedly stopped terrorism.
Good for him, man.
Right?
Yeah.
he made a
Thank you,
one-off
Jim.
So that-
harness.
So
went onto
that's
the
why,
harness.
that's why good-looking Brent does not want to be on camera.
Yeah, he can't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He-
He's right
Yeah.
next
the
to
Bin Laden
Julian
family
Assange.
is they put a hit out on. They got a jihad on
Yeah.
him.
So
So.
we love you, Brent. I'm sorry you're not here, but whatever. You didn't want to come. That's fine. But I will say, like I said, kind of wrapping this thing up, the time I've been able to spend with you two fucking dickheads has been invaluable, and I love you guys so much, dude. I mean, to walk away from the Wrath broke my goddamn heart. You guys helped me when my wife went through cancer. You helped me with every one of my children, and walking away from that band fucking broke my heart. And I made a choice, and I'll never fucking not make that choice ever. And you as a father now, you understand the choice.
I don't think you really walked away from it. We all talked about it.
This is true.
And I mean, it was just like, hey, I can't do this right now.
I can't do it.
I mean,
From
when Scott was crazy though, we never stopped being close.
No.
We were always like in each other's lives.
But honestly, like it was, and I had no idea who anybody was. I know who you are. Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, kinda. No, but it was the perspective that I got, having looked at the band, was like, holy shit! Why? What? Why are they going away?
Right.
This sucks. Like I can't even begin to tell you guys how fucking excited I got when I heard the band. And they're like, yeah, no, man, one of them's he's got kids and he's moving to Bakersfield.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
I mean, that is honestly what I got. I don't know whatever it was, but that's what I got. And I was like, all right, I get it, because I've raised kids. So I'm like, shit, okay, well, fuck, that sucks. Man, I really like those guys.
Yeah.
I wish I could convey how bummed I was that I got to hear them once. Right. Like, I really was like, God damn it, this sucks. This is one of the fucking, like, I was so stoked. I was like, this is what I want to hear. This is great. Just fucking good stoner, hardcore, metal fucking rock. Just fucking just good.
Not punk at all.
Fucking not even kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
Not even.
Me and John have argued for years whether we were a punk band or a metal
you
band.
were not a punk
He
band.
eventually admitted it. But...
No.
Only on the second record.
On the
First record still punk. First record still punk.
Yeah, all right.
All right, I'm going to do a deep dive.
I can't play double bass, so...
We'll do a deep
punk
dive.
adjacent.
And then we'll come back and have this conversation again.
But
so we're coming back on the podcast soon, so we're going to have to do this again.
Yeah,
and
100%.
then we all need to, if we can, please guilt Larry White into coming on the podcast, because Larry seems to, for some reason, I know he's busy, but if we can get him on
He's
here.
not that busy. He's getting an early bird breakfast right now.
Dude, seriously, man.
Yeah.
We just got to get a hold of this. It's like a fountain of knowledge in this whole community of this guy that's so old. We don't know how long we're going to get to keep him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That shit needs to be documented.
He's fucking, what is he, 70?
He's like 77.
No.
Oh, he's pretty close to 70, dude. He's pretty close to 70.
He's still working.
Yeah.
He's not that old.
He's a bad
Yeah,
motherfucker.
because he's a carny. You know what I mean? Like, he's never going to stop working. He's going to be doing something, but, we need to get that carny on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's a life goal.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe he doesn't want, because he doesn't have a beard anymore. So
maybe that's why
he's scared
he's got
of you
beard
guys.
issue,
He's scared. He's like, I cut my beard off.
But I will say,
Larry's
man,
been scared of nothing in his life.
you guys provided me with a childhood dream that you have got to live many times over at this point. My goals were to basically be in a band that got to tour, put out LPs, and fucking have a great time, dude. And I fucking love you guys so much, man. And I'm so excited to play in July on the 12th with you guys, man. Like, to bring it back
Friday.
10 years later.
Or wait, when's this coming out?
Probably
next Friday.
It's coming
up
be
this
next
week, but we'll be
It's
there
coming out
Friday.
this, or Monday?
Yeah, Monday. Yeah.
This Friday. This Friday.
Yeah. So we're going to be playing the 12th. And we're playing our first full record front to back with some of the Nardcore songs that we recorded for the Nardcore comp. And I'm fucking I'm so excited, man. Like, it ignited a little thing in me that I just miss it. You know what I mean?
Willie got up there.
My little ding dong was like,
It's a musical wood.
musical boner, dude. Yeah, you guys gave me a musical
Not just
boner.
musical.
I
He
appreciate it.
looks at you with a lust.
100%.
It's obvious.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think we could have lived a whole
Yeah.
life together.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
Me and you, though, we're right there.
Yeah.
You know, I just
Anyway.
like me, you, and the Hobbit. We got a whole thing going on. I'm into it.
That's right.
All right.
John, what do you? I know in the 1,000 bands that you're in, I know you're the Prince of Nardcore.
Jesus Christ.
I thought that was Joe Rivas.
No, he's like, I think he's like the hand of the king.
Okay.
I would call Joe
He's the king of
He's
hardcore.
the bard.
Hand of the king.
He's the bard.
Tony's
John
the
Bard.
mayor.
Tony's
says
the mayor.
that.
Tony's-
Tony's,
for sure.
Tony's
The mayor.
definitely the mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Joe's like the bard. He's the
bard.
one that keeps, just keeps the stories going and keeps
Right.
talking
That's
about
true,
these
yeah.
things and keeps bringing it all
Yeah,
together.
he's like the historian of,
Yeah,
of
100%,
hardcore.
man.
You are in a million bands. Not really right now, but what do you got going on for your bands right now? Headcut and all that shit.
Right now, Headcut.
That's
basically.
it.
Really.
How do you remember the names of all the bands you're in? Like, how do you
I
even do
have a
it?
tattoo right here. of every
Yeah.
band. No,
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I can't, because I can't remember the songs, the lyrics to the songs that I like. I can't remember. Like, if you were to go like, hey, look, man, I'm going to kill your family if you can't sing a song. One song in its entirety. I'm like, well, fuck, give me the gun, I'll shoot them.
Yeah.
That way I know they're going to die quick.
I am the absolute
And you
worst at
fucking-
song titles.
Oh, dude,
Me
can't
too.
do it.
I don't know
And
the.
then
I don't even know the
watch
names of
you
our
do
our
this stuff,
songs.
and I've watched you do it for years, and it just astounds me how you're able to just and get on stage with very little prep and do stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
Yeah,
know,
Blake
hey,
spoke
yeah.
very highly of you
Oh, yeah.
on the podcast
Nice.
last week, dude.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah,
Which
the-
I would
I had
expect
a-
nothing less.
I had a really good time in Song 13. That was fun.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I mean, that's a childhood dream, right? I mean,
yeah,
to be
actually in the 80s.
not only that, you were in Stalag longer than Stalag. I mean, by 5 times. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
Stalag ever existed.
Yeah, our lineup with Stalag was longer than
Longer
the initial.
by
yeah.
double minimum, right?
Yeah.
So what's going on with Headcut? What do you guys got going on?
Headcut, we just put out a new record. We did it all ourselves on our own label. There's a label in Poland putting out the CD, Batcave. Shout out Batcave. And we've been playing shows,
Yeah.
and it's been really good. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Headcut is
It's
amazing,
another
dude.
band of people I've been friends with for 20
Right.
years.
Seth,
you know?
Sasha. Yeah.
Like we've all been
Yeah.
friends.
Oscar is
like,
amazing. Yeah.
forever. Me and Oscar have been playing together now for, I don't know, 11 years and
Right.
different, because it's kind of like
Different capacities.
we started, like, there's a thing in Ventura that we used to do every Halloween, a cover band Halloween party,
Right.
which everyone would play in different bands, and it was really fun.
Right.
And me and Oscar started playing together in a Damned cover band in 2009, maybe.
Right.
And then after that, we started a band called Mask, and then Mask kind of morphed into a band called Detoxy, and Detoxy kind of turned into Headcut.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. So you guys got tons of shows. You can find the links.
we've been
Look
playing,
up
yeah,
Headcut
just Headcut
on anything.
Instagram,
Yeah.
Bandcamp.
On shit. And Nick, you're in a
Spotify.
band called Mercer now, which is
Yes.
a wild step.
The Mercer.
Almost like
The
the
Mercer.
Mercer.
The
sorry.
Mercer.
Lucero type shit.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
what do you guys got going on?
We just put out a 6-song EP. We don't have a label or anything like that, but
Right.
recorded and mixed and mastered by our good friend Armand.
Same with Headcut.
Yep.
Nice.
Same
Same
with
with
Headcut.
the fucking Wrath.
The guy who records pretty much everybody in
Right.
Ventura, Oxnard. It's up on Bandcamp. And we don't have any shows coming up that I can plug right
That's
now.
fine.
Marty's he's on vacation right now.
Good
so,
for him.
You know,
Yeah.
he's doing.
Yeah.
living
So
his
and
best
me, you
life.
can find me here on this podcast asking for likes and subscribes and rates. And check out our Patreon and fucking check out our merchandise, dude. Buy some merch. See us all on July 12th at Nardfest at the OPAC in Oxnard. It's going to be a fucking amazing show. The Dickies, Final Conflict, us, Pink Mist. There's a million other bands playing.
It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a great time. Jay's going to be working the merch booth.
Yep.
We got new merch coming out for the show, for the fucking Wrath, our once in a lifetime 10-year reunion, essentially. And that's it. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
I'll
for
be pole
watching.
dancing
Oh.
this Sunday, 1091 Scandy Avenue, Garage Bar. I've got a new thing, the new routine that I'm working on. If you guys
He's
want to
been
come
working
by
on
and
his
check it
twerk
out.
game, dude.
You guys
Yeah,
put
dude,
the
it's
pull
hard.
back
It's hard.
from when it was DJ?
Yeah.
No,
Right,
the pole
yeah.
back. Yeah, no, we put the pole back. I mean,
Cool.
when I started doing testosterone, the pole came back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah. All right. Love you guys. Bye.